Hey everyone, Brandon here. So you might be wondering why I am filming from my computer today, and you can see me and I'm looking at the product. So that can only mean one thing, that this is a camera review, and yes indeed it is. This is the SJCAM SJ4K. Now the 4K obviously means that it can shoot in 4K. It can also shoot in 2K. It can also shoot in 1080p. It can also shoot in 720p. But all of them shoot at 30 frames per second, which could be a bummer for some people. But as you can see, I'm looking at myself in the screen right here, and it looks really good from my perspective. Now, this is a 170 degrees super wide angle lens, but I do not have the super wide angle on because, well, I cropped it from the side and the top and bottom just so you could centralize my face instead of seeing pretty much everything else like computer and my whiteboard. But when I do the 170 degree, you can see all that, and it's pretty crazy. So if you're looking for something that can do a wide angle, this might be for you. Now, it is a action camera, or it's supposed to be an action camera, so you can do a lot of things. You can take it underwater up to 98 feet before it gets compromised, but you'll need this case right here, and it does come with the case. I just don't have it in the case right now because I have it hooked up to the computer, and I really don't see any need for it to be like that. Now, I will say that this case is designed and engineered perfectly, so you can power it on with this button here when you have the camera in here. So this would be the on button. Here would be the record button up here, and then of course you have your up and down arrows there, and then a little switch there that opens it up, and voila, creates a nice air seal when you seal it back up. And it really only takes a couple of seconds to get it on real tight, and voila, that would be super secure up to 98 feet underwater. Now, I am actually going to use this for two ways. The first way is obviously you're looking at it right now, is I wanted to start shooting 4K, and my cameras that I have, my webcams right now, they can't shoot in 4K. They can only do 1080p, and I don't think the quality is good as this camera right here. And there's also a dash cam feature that I want to use because I have a driving channel, because some people enjoy exploring the world, and I just like to give my little piece of the pie when it comes to West Virginia and Virginia occasionally. Now, with that being said, it can also do burst shots. It can do a time lapse. It can also shoot 40 megapixel images, and I think that's about it. Besides, the 4K, the 2K, the 1080p, and the 720p, all at 30 frames per second. It also has a screen on the back, obviously, so you see what you're shooting and getting to the different modes. Now, it did take me about 2 days to get used to the UI in the system, just because there's a lot of information there. So if you do decide to get this camera, make sure you read it, go over all the features, and just play with it for a little while, because that way you can actually get used to it. You know exactly what you want to do with it and be very happy. So, with that being said, you might be wondering, well, what's the price for a 4K camera? And I'm going to tell you, and it might shock you, the price for this camera is actually $67. That's it, $67. Not anymore, and I don't know if it could be less. It could be less if you find a coupon somewhere. But $67 for this camera. Now, they do have other versions of the camera. Some are better and some are lower. But, you know, this is probably their mid-grade camera right here. And I will say that for $67, anyone could buy this and get into videography if they wanted to. Maybe you want to start streaming. Could be a great alternative to a webcam for now, unless you want to upgrade later on. If you're looking to do some hiking, maybe you need to pick up something real quick to do your hike, you could do that. And then when you're camping, you could film the setup of your campsite. And then after all said and done, you could also do a time lapse, which it shoots photos, and there is durations that you can pick. You can do that. And then put it all in one, then you have a great film. So it does use micro SD cards for the card slot, and my pet peeve, and it's always a pet peeve, it is a micro USB cable. Now, you know, I always say I wish they spent the 15 or 20 cents to manufacture it with the USB-C ports. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. That's what I always say. And it works. So, that's the important thing. So, out of 10 stars, you might be wondering, well, what do you give it? And I will say that I give this camera a 9 out of 10. And there's two reasons why it's a 9 out of 10 and not a 10 out of 10. First, the sound quality is not the best. That is for sure. I actually shot this video the first time not knowing that it was using the microphone on the camera, and it's not really good, at least to my perspective. So if you're gonna take shots, I mean, you're not really worried about the audio quality, then, you know, go ahead with this. But I think most people are going to do like highlight videos. Maybe they're going to speed up their videos, or they're just going to turn off the audio, which there is a setting in the camera to do that. And then they're going to just play music over their video to excite people. And the second reason is obviously the micro USB port. I just wish everything turned to USB-C, and that's just my opinion. But the 9 out of 10, the high score, is just because the affordability is for everyone, beginners, amateurs. I mean, I guess professionals probably already have a more expensive camera, but you know, maybe they want to go diving and they need a camera. This could work for them as well. And overall, it's just a great camera for 4K with the quality that it provides, and being 4K for $67. I mean, you really cannot beat it. So anyways, guys, that's it for this review of the SJCAM SJ4K. I will have a link in the description below if you're interested in this camera for either hiking, biking, swimming, diving, you know, just doing videos, using that as a webcam, using that as a dash cam. There's a lot of different uses for this camera, and I think it's a great one to pick up. So anyways, guys, if you liked this video, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, and bye-bye.